Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ignorant Intellectual on Media. I'm your host, Scott, or the Ignorant Intellectual, and today I thought we would tackle some film noir. Are you interested in film noir? Do you like the black and white films back in the mid 40s to mid 50s, where all the studios got on board and started making these anti-hero films with no redeemable qualities? Everybody's bad in them. Everybody's trying to take advantage of everybody else. Guns and murder and deceit and so on and so forth. They are such fun films to watch, and they don't actually, in my humble opinion, they don't actually work as well when they're in color. So black and white seems to, bring out the devil in us, I guess. Um, some of the greatest film noirs, well, all the great film noirs are in black and white. I mean, you have modern versions, the neo noirs that are good as well, but if they harken back to the 40s and the 50s, I think they would actually be better if they made them in black and white rather than in color. Because for some reason, brain wise or psychologically wise, most people that have watched a lot of films associate film noir and a lot of older films in black and white. So they're actually looking at the past in black and white just because of the movies, meaning that it doesn't seem authentic if they watch a TV show or a movie, that its setting is back in the 20s, 30s, or 40s, or whatever, and the film is in color. Um, it doesn't seem authentic, right? So it's funny how reality kind of gets pushed aside for filmmaking in our brains on what we think is real, right? But anyway, so film noir was great, and Fox, which is the studio that I'm going to concentrate on, because they came out with a series of DVDs, 26 altogether, called Fox on Film Noir. And here's the collection here. I'll show it to you. Will it fit in the camera? It is a big collection. Okay, so these are all individual. But what I did was as I usually do when it comes to something that you want to keep in good condition, I have uh, put them in a plastic. Well, actually, two plastic bags, and but mostly, see, I've transferred these already, so I don't really need the DVDs. They're more of an archive, but here it is here. All right. So this is the set that Fox put out of a lot of their classic film noirs, um, from between. So I wrote notes down because it's a lot to remember. Between 1941 and 1955, Fox put out all these 26 films. Now, um, like in the theaters, or the actual DVDs came out between 2005 and 2008. Now, they're not a box set. There is no box set. The reason why they're all joined together is because I put them in plastic, in two large plastic bags, and then I tape the two plastic bags together to make it like one nice set, right? Um, but if you want to start with film noir, picking up this collection, a movie at a time, because the collection itself is not. Fox never put out an actual 26 volume set of DVDs for this. They put them out individually, like I said, over a 3-year period between 2005 and 2008. So you could pick them up individually, and if you got them all, you'd have all 26. Now, for some reason, Fox did the first 24 in I'll show you here on the left. I don't know if my finger's pointing at it correctly, but I'll see. But I'll put up an image of what the front cover, the spine, and the back cover looks. So every one of the looks like, and every one of them are the same. They have the original poster of the film when it first came out as the front cover, and then all the spines and the back are all the same. It shows you the commentary or the extras that are on each DVD, and each DVD inside it has a nice booklet that gives you some information on that film, right? So each one, all 26, have a booklet inside, and the first 24 have a brown, like like a burnt wood color to them, with the poster on the front cover superimposed, usually at a bit of an angle, right? So anyways, I'll show you examples of them as we go along. Now, um, Fox put out a lot of film noir during that period of time, and they got some of the best film noir directors to direct their films. Like when you think of film noir directors, who do you think of? Well, I think of first person that pops into my head is Fritz Lang. All right, and there isn't a Fritz Lang film. I don't think Fritz Lang ever worked for Fox, 20th Century Fox, um, but guys like Otto Preminger did, Henry Hathaway, uh, Elia Kazan. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. Is it Elia Kazan? All right. And others. I wrote them down. Right. So in this collection you have five films by Otto Preminger, three by Joseph L. Mankiewicz. All right, who was another great director. Five by Henry Hathaway, two by Elia Kazan, and one by Samuel Fuller. All right, and Samuel Fuller had some others for some other studios that are good, and uh, and then various others. So there's 26 in total. And of those, uh, and Robert Wise had one. 16 of them came from Otto Preminger, Mankiewicz, Hathaway, Kazan, Fuller, and Robert Wise. So the collection, when it comes to directors, when it comes to the talent of the directors, is there. Now, out of these 26 films, probably maybe only two or three of them are considered, you know, the greats in the genre, and the two main ones in the genre that uh, attract people to buy and collect this set are the first one, number one, which is Laura, all right, and the second, and the next one is Nightmare Alley, which is number six, all right. So those two, when you look at the list, or when you ask people what are the greatest film noir films of all time, those two from this collection always come up. All right, so you have Laura and Nightmare Alley. All right, so those are the two main ones, but the other ones are also very good as well. But there's 26 of them altogether. The first 24, as you can see, they're all numbered at the top. All right, and then the last two, Fox decided not to put out in that series anymore. They put out two more and then they just stopped. My guess is that the reason why they changed it from that consistency of the first 24, and the last two didn't, was they were moving away from that style, and they were going to put out a whole bunch of different type of films, and um, maybe more film noir. I'm not sure, but they wanted maybe to market it more to the general public than to individual collectors, right? So anyway, so those are the 26 DVDs. Now, DVDs for some collectors these days have passed. People are starting to collect 4Ks, and the middle between a 4K and a DVD is a Blu-ray. So um, none of these films that I know of have come out. Sorry, have come out on 4K as of yet. But if you want a higher resolution rate for some of these films, they do have. Many of them have Blu-ray editions. From Eureka or Kino Lorber. I always have problems with that name. Um, and So you can find them on Blu-ray. Now, not all of them you can find on Blu-ray, but the ones that you can, I listed it, so just in case you wanted to go. So Laura, actually, Fox put out. So Fox, who put out these ones, Laura came out. It's probably the most popular out of all the films in this collection is Laura, which is the first one. Fox put that out on a Blu-ray back in 2013. All right, and if you collect the Masters of Cinema by Eureka, um, which is a British import, so it's probably region two. So if you're across the pond, if you're not in the United States or Canada, you're in region two, then you could pick up the Masters of Cinema, which is number 196 from Eureka. So that one has also come out. All right. So that one came out in 2019. All right. Now I don't know the dates of every one of these Blu-ray editions, but I know that if you're diehard set on watching these at Blu-ray, you don't want to collect any DVDs, and and you don't want to collect this set, all right, which is a bit difficult to collect, to tell you the truth. A lot of people have pieces of this set, but I haven't met anybody except for myself that has all 26 volumes of it. I have found some that have 24, but then they didn't realize that the last two, number 25 and 26, aren't numbered in the set, and but still belong in the set. So they're a bit confused on that. But anyway, um, so the next is Call Northside 777, which came out in 1948 by directed by Henry Hathaway. All right, so that's so they did Otto Preminger for Laura, and then they did Hathaway, and those two directors each have 5 films in this collection, right? And you can find Call Northside 777 only, at least that when I went looking for it, the only way you can find it on Blu-ray is there's a German edition of it in Blu-ray that it's English. The language is English, but it's in German subtitles, and it's put out by um, what uh, Pidax or Pidax, Padax. They put out an edition of called Northside 777 um, in Germany. All right, I'm not sure what the date of it came out, but if you're really looking for that and you want to watch that, which is the second one, which is one of the better ones in this collection, you'll have to import it from Germany. Now it's going to be a Region 2 disc. All right, so um, uh, be a Region 2 disc. So just want to double check. I always mix up the DVD and the Blu-ray designations. So is Blu-ray 1, 2, and 3, or is it A, B, and C? And then is DVD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, right? So just let me check something here. Um, anyways, it's the European region, all right. So Region 1, all right. So or Region 2 or Region B, if it was a DVD. Anyway, so it's from Germany. It's called PDX. Now the next one is Panic in the Streets from 1950, and that one's directed by Elia Kazan, and that's one of the great film noirs as well. And Fox actually put that out themselves in 2013 on a Blu-ray, so it's probably pretty easy to find. All right, um, and for Europeans, there's a Region 2 or Region B Blu-ray that's put out by Signal One, if I remember correctly. Signal One. It came out in 2017. It's dual format. It has a DVD and a Blu-ray in it, and so each one of these you're going to see the image, the picture of it pop up on the screen, so you get an idea of what it looks like. All right. So Signal One put that out in 2017. So the next, um, so that was Panic in the Streets, the number 3. Number 4 is House of Bamboo, which is a 1955 film noir from Samuel Fuller. All right. And that one, um, Eureka, in its Masters of Cinema collection, the Masters of Cinema collection they put out. It's number 217. They put it out in 2020. Um, it's also in their box set, which is a Fuller on Fox. It's one of the 4 or 5 films in that box set if you want to pick up the box set by Eureka. And they're all Masters of Cinema, uh, all the Fuller Fox films, Masters of Cinema collection. All right, so it would be a Region B or Region 2 as well, right? So it's a European. So many of these film noirs on this list, um, they they're not North American centric. Let's put it that way. They're all like American films. Almost all of them are American films. In fact, I don't think there's any that aren't American films um, that Fox put out. They're all American, right? So, but a lot of them you can only get on DVD in North America. You're going to have to go searching in Europe to find some of these films on Blu-ray, right? Okay, so House of Bamboo had an Eureka Masters of Cinema number 217, Twilight Time as well. Now, Twilight Time is a boutique label that ran from 2011 to 2020, and then Screen Archives Entertainment, which is an online seller of Blu-rays and DVDs, used and new. They took over and they kept the business afloat. And so um, Twilight Time actually has put out many of these Fox videos. Anyways, we'll go over that. So Twilight Time in 2015 put out a version of House of Bamboo as well. So you got Eureka Masters of Cinema for Europe, and then you have Twilight Time for North America. If I'm like 99% sure that's a Region 1 or Region A Blu-ray disc. All right. All right. So, and there's a Spanish version of it, which is called um, it's in English with Spanish subtitles, and I don't know. I don't know the. It's Region Two though, but I don't know who the distributor is. Um, all right, so number five in this list. So let's. Number five is the Street with No Name by William Keighley. All right, and it does not have a Blu-ray, so that's the first one that doesn't have a Blu-ray. All right. Number five doesn't have a Blu-ray, so you're going to have to find it on DVD if you want to watch it. It's called The Street with No Name. Came out in 1948. All right. The next one after that is Nightmare Alley, and that came out in 1947 and is directed by Edmund Golding. Now, that one was good enough to make it as a Criterion. So Laura and Nightmare Alley are the two big ones. All right. Now, Laura has not made it to a boutique Blu-ray as of yet that I know of. Okay, it's only put out by Fox in a general Blu-ray. So like Eureka hasn't put it out, or Criterion, but Nightmare Alley has been put out in a Criterion Blu-ray, and it's numbered 1078 in their collection. All right, and they put it out in 2021, so pretty recently. And Signal One, which is a UK boutique label as well, it's called Cinema One, and they put out a version of it. So it's had two boutique releases. So the Criterion for North America and Signal One uh, for the European market, as my understanding. All right. So, and the Signal One is actually a Blu-ray DVD combo. All right. Okay. So the next one, number seven in the list, is The House on 92nd Street, which came out in 1945 and was directed by Henry Hathaway, which is now his second that we've covered. All right. And that one, the only way you can find it on Blu-ray is Kino Lorber edition in their classics of cinema um, section or whatever, and they put it out in 2016. So it's a Kino Lorber that you'll have to find from 2016 if you want to get that film on Blu-ray. All right. So um, then next up is Somewhere in the Night, which came out in 1946 by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, and um, the only Blu-ray I could find on that one is in France. I think 20th Century Fox put out an edition of that on Blu-ray, but in France. So it's a Region 2 Blu-ray, um, and it's English with French subtitles, um, and it's called Quelque part dans la nuit, right? Which is somewhere in the night in French. All right, so that's the only way you can get that one on Blu-ray. If it bothers you to have Blu-rays on your most people, if they're like me, they don't mind foreign language or other language films in their collection and on their shelves. Um, but if it's an English language film, it should have an English language title, right? If it's a French language film, let's say instead of having on the title, let's say The Stranger, they'll have L'étranger or whatever, right? Which is fine by me. If it's a German film and they have the German name on it, rather than the English translated name or whatever. Um, that's fine as well for me. Other people want everything in English, so it's easier for them to find. But I think most collectors don't like to have a film that's originally an English language film, but let's say North America didn't put it out. United States didn't put that film out. Only let's say a French distributor put it out. So actually, the spine has the French language name for the English film. English speaking people probably that wouldn't be as desirable to them. to put on the shelves. They'd rather have an English language name, the English name on the spine rather than the French, since it's an English film, right? So that one may, I don't know, maybe people will pass, but it's called Quelque part dans la nuit, all right? And it's the French version of Somewhere in the Night, but it actually has English. It's basically an English disc with French subtitles. So, I mean, watching it isn't going to be any different. It's just the packaging is in French, right? So, next up after Somewhere in the Night is Whirlpool, and that's an Otto Preminger film from 1950. And Twilight Time put out a Blu-ray edition of that. All right, so Twilight Time, um, which is an American label, if I remember correctly. So it should be in Region One or A. All right, so, but that's the only way you're going to get it. All right, is from Twilight Time. So if you want to find it, you just go on the what is it called? Screen Archives Entertainment. Put that in Google, and um, you'll get their website and look for it on the website. You'll probably find it. Okay. So next up after Whirlpool is number 10, which is The Dark Corner, which is another Henry Hathaway film noir from 1946. And there's absolutely no Blu-ray on that I could find. All right. So that's the second one in the collection that you can't find on Blu-ray. You'll have to find on DVD, and it is called The Dark Corner. All right, so number 11 is Kiss of Death, okay, and that's done by Henry Hathaway as well, and it's from 1947. But this one you can find on Blu-ray. Signal One, which is that British label. All right, oh, my wife's printing something, it seems. Signal One um, put out a version of that on Blu-ray back in 2016, but it's a Region 2 Blu-ray. All right, and Twilight Time as well put out a version of that. So that one would be Region 1, Region A, all right? And Signal 1 would be the British version of it, and that would be a Region 2 or Region B um, Blu-ray disc, all right? So Kiss of Death, that's number 11, so you can find it in Region 1 or Region 2, all right? So next up is number 12, which is Where the Sidewalk Ends, and that's another Otto Preminger film noir. So Preminger is up there with guys like you know, like Fritz Lang and Howard Hawks and Billy Wilder and Carol Reed and George Cukor and John Huston, Orson Welles, Raoul Walsh, Robert Siodmak, and Jules Dassin and Nicholas Ray. These are the big names. And Preminger has 5 films in this collection that are really worthy of watching and collecting. So I would suggest if you don't mind DVD to start picking up these volumes. They're fun to collect, right? So anyway, but like I said, most people do Blu-ray. So let's see if we can find Blu-rays for all of these movies. So Where the Sidewalk Ends is Otto Preminger's Blu-ray from 1950. Sorry, a film from 1950. And Twilight Time put out an edition of it. Now, the thing about Twilight Time, all right, is when they started their label or distribution company, they said that they would put out like 3,000 films or 3,000 a count of 3,000 Blu-rays, and then they wouldn't put out any more again, right? So they cleaned up the films that they put out on Blu-ray. They cleaned it up, and they put out a nice version of it. So it's a boutique Blu-ray, and they only did 3,000 copies of each one. So, for example, Where the Sidewalk Ends, number 12. If you want that on Blu-ray, you can find it. Uh, Twilight Time put out an edition of it. Okay, but there's only 3,000 copies. Like all of the Twilight Time films, film noirs that are on this list, they're all only 3,000 copies. So basically, they're all out of print. So you'll need to pick them up um, secondarily, I guess, from the secondary market, and you're probably going to pay through your teeth to get them. So it'd probably be a lot easier just to get the DVDs. Um, but that's just me. All right. So, um, and there is a Spanish region free film, but again, you're going to have the Spanish title on the spine, not the English title for Where the Sidewalk Ends. Um, but it's region free, and it's English with Spanish subtitles. I don't know the name of the company that put it out, but it's a Spanish Blu-ray. All right, and so number 13 is No Way Out, and that's a 1950 film noir by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, and the Eureka Masters of Cinema put out an edition of it, and it's number 191 in that collection. But again, it's Region 2 or Region B. So if you're in North America and you get it, you'll need a Region 3 or Region 2 Blu-ray player to play it, right? Um, and that's the only way you can get it on Blu-ray presently, all right? And number 14 is Fallen Angel from 1945, another Otto Preminger film. And the only way you can get that one is from the same company that did Where the Sidewalk Ends, which is a Spanish company. I don't know what the name of it is, but they put out a Spanish version of that film, all right? And it's called Angel o Diablo. Angel o Diablo, if I can speak Spanish properly. But it's region free, so that's cool, all right? So if you don't mind the Spanish title, which is Angel o Diablo, all right? It's a region free and it's English with Spanish subtitles. But again, you'll get the spine will have a Spanish title on it rather than an English title, all right? So number 15 on the list is House on Telegraph Hill, and that's a 1951 film noir by Robert Wise, and that's the only Robert Wise film in this collection. Um, and it does not have a Blu-ray, so if you're going to get it, you're going to have to get it on DVD. And why not just get it in this collection, right? So it came out in 1951, and it has no Blu-ray that I could find or know of. All right. And then number 16 is a film that I showed in a previous video. It's called Boomerang, and it has a DVD in this collection, but it also has a Kino Lorber film um, uh, as well, and it's from 1947, and it's directed by Elia Kazan, right? So that's the second film by Kazan in this collection. And actually, Eureka's Masters of Cinema also put out an edition of this, and it's what number is it? Number 89 in the Masters of Cinema collection. So it's Region 2 or Region B. So Europeans will probably flock more to that one than the Kino Lorber, but Americans or Canadians would pick up the Kino Lorber probably. All right, so it's number 89. So it's Boomerang from 1947. Number 17 in the list is called House of Strangers, which is a Joseph L. Mankiewicz, all right, another film by Mankiewicz from 1949, and there's no Blu-ray of that. So, but Mankiewicz is such a great director and very good film noirs. Um, at some point, there's got to be maybe Kino Lorber will put out that one is like sorely lacking a Blu-ray. All right, somebody's got to do a Blu-ray on that. All right, and so there you go. So that was the Mankiewicz. Number 18 is I Wake Up Screaming from 1941, and that's an H. Bruce Humberstone directed film, and that one Kino Lorber put out as well in their Studio Classics line, right? So all the Kino Lorber that I'm mentioning through this list, they're all the Studio Classics line that have the ones with the black spines. You put them all together, they look really uniform. They all have black spines to them with KL on the top. All right, um, that's the only way that you can get that one is a Kino Lorber. I Wake Up Screaming. All right, so number 19, which is Vicky, which is a Harry Horner uh, film from 1953, and there's no Blu-ray for that one. All right, um, so is that the fourth? I think that's the fourth Blu-ray. No Blu-ray, right? And Shock, which is number 20. So now that we're getting to the end of the list, more of them aren't put out on Blu-ray yet, right? So I'll have to count because I think I miscounted how many aren't on Blu-ray of the 26, but I'll do a quick count at the end there. So Vicky, which is a Harry Horner film noir from 1953, there's no Blu-ray for that one at all that I know of. All right, and then number 20, which is Shock, which is an Alfred L. Wesker film from 1946, and that one has no Blu-ray as well. All right, so number 19, number 20, number 21, which is 14 Hours, which is a Henry Hathaway film from 1951. Hathaway is a very good director. I'm surprised this has not made it to Blu-ray yet, but it hasn't. There's no Blu-ray for that one either. Number 22, which is Black Widow from 1954, directed by Nunnally Johnson. All right, and Nunnally Johnson's film does not have a Blu-ray either. All right, so I'll be surprised that that one doesn't come on Blu-ray at some point. All right, and number 23 is Daisy Kenyon from 1947. That is a Otto Preminger film, and that one, probably because it's Otto Preminger, has a Kino Lorber uh, addition to it of a Blu-ray, right? So you can pick it up. But I'm not sure why. I don't think that one really is a film noir. Do you consider that Daisy Kenyon as a film noir? I don't think most people do they? It's more of a romantic film than a film noir, right? But maybe because Preminger is such a big name in film noir, they added it, um, uh, thinking that even though it might not be a film noir, it's still a Preminger film. So anyway, so that one, Kino Lorber put out an edition of it. All right. So next up, number 24 is Dangerous Crossing, and that's a Joseph M. Newman film from 1953, and that one has no Blu-ray either. All right. So, and then number 25 is Roadhouse from 1948, directed by Gene Negolesco, and Kino Lorber has a Blu-ray of that. All right. So you can find that one, Roadhouse. All right. And number 26, which is the last one. So number 25 and 26 aren't really numbered. All right. So up to 24 is numbered, but 25 and 26, the actual ones aren't numbered, but they're put out by 20th Century Fox, right? So anyway, so it's called Moontides, and it's from 1942, and it's an Archer Mayo film noir. So, but it doesn't have a Blu-ray either. All right. So if we were to count how many of these do not have Blu-rays, we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. So 10 of the 26 in the collection do not have Blu-rays. So you can only find 16 of them. And I basically just listed where you can find them. So it's usually it's going to be a Eureka film, maybe a what is it? Studio, not a Studio One. What is it called? Signal One. It's going to be a Signal One, a Twilight Time, a Kino Lorber, or one Criterion, and some two or three Masters of Cinema from Eureka, and a couple of Spanish versions, and one French version put out by 20th Century Fox. So a lot of them you're going to have to, except for the Kino Lorber and the Twilight Times, these are all European distributors, so you may have to import if you want to get some of these films on Blu-ray. But it's well worth it. But my suggestion would be to go find these ones first. All right, that way you can have a nice collection like this. It makes a good piece in your collection where you can put it up on a shelf or wherever, and it looks nice, especially if you put it in plastic like I did. All right, and get them all that way. Watch them, and if you consider the films, Blu-ray worthy to collect, then go out and search for the Blu-rays. At least you can find like, 16 of the 26 anyways, 10 of them still as of this. So this is in August of 2022. There haven't been Blu-ray editions that I have been able to find for 10 of these films. All right, so that is the Fox Film Noir collection, 26 volumes, of which 24 are. I'm sure it keeps going up. 24 are numbered, and the last two aren't. Um, have fun collecting them. Have fun watching them. I'm getting into them right now. That's why I decided to make a video of them, and we'll see how I like them as well. But I figure maybe do a video because I haven't seen any videos online of where to find these films. Because Fox is one of the big names in movies in general, but they've been around since the beginning, right? But they're a big name in film noir, and this is probably their signature collection of film noirs, right? So once you watch them all, you'll have a very good understanding of Fox contribution to that genre of film. And thank you for watching my video. Uh, Subscribe if you wish. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. And I didn't really want. It took me a good amount of time to put this together like this, so I hope I didn't disappoint you guys too much by not taking out each individual movie and showing you the cover of them or anything. But I did, like I said, I'm going to be putting. I did put pictures of the DVD covers for some, so that you can recognize them, because basically the covers are all the same, right? So just the posters change from each film, but the actual, the design of each one of them, except for the last two, all are very similar in look, right? And I didn't want to pull apart all the plastic that I it took me a while to put it together that way. And since I don't need to actually access the DVDs, they're all safe, and all the covers and everything are safe in that plastic. And when I watch the films, I watch them on my laptop. So um, anyway, so like I said, if you like the film, like the video, leave a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe, I would like that, and I'll see you in my next video. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And bye.